Hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Sorry, it took me a minute to swallow my slush puppy. So I'm hoping that you guys have had an awesome day, being that it's Wednesday. And for this week, it'll be our last tarot teaching moment since I work tomorrow and Friday. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys tonight to go over another card. In short, it was a really good day. So I did have lunch with my friend who I met at the craft fair that I worked. And yeah, it was really great to catch up with her. She's a really smart, interesting lady. So that was really cool. And then I went to Mystic Valley, which is a metaphysical store off of Manchester, in St. Louis. So that was really cool. And I met a really cool person there by the name of B, who's really nice and friendly and helpful. And then after that, went by the pet store, the grocery store, and then I headed home for the day. I can't believe how warm it was to here today. It was like 80, 85 degrees. Like, that's really awesome, you know? So tonight, we're going to continue our journey through the Pentacles. Hey, Tim. And we have the Three of Pentacles here. So I want you to observe what the central characters are doing, because we actually have more than one. And the predominant color usage, what are you seeing in the background, and determine how this card makes you feel, if it's something that makes you comfortable or uncomfortable. And intuitively, without knowing anything, what you can actually gain just by assessing what's going on in the picture, which is a lot of tarot, right? So what we see here is the Roman numeral for 3. And so this structure is part of a cathedral. It's part of a church. And what we have here is this, what appears to be a young man. And again, it's always the energy. And he is collaborating with these two individuals. Okay, one of which appears to be an architect. He's a sculptor, and then this is a monk. So that is really important, because the sculptor and the architect are more of the practical knowledge, and then the monk is more of the spiritual knowledge, and they're collaborating together on this endeavor, this project. So whenever I've done past tarot teaching moments, I've referenced the number 3 in tarot. You think of it in terms of alchemy. So you combine two things to come up with a new product. The two combine to form a new thing, okay? It can also be seen as two people working together to basically have an outcome, right? So that's what we're seeing here. So even though this person is young in appearance, they very much value his insight. And so together with their knowledge and skills and experiences, they are working as a team on this project. And that's where they all feel respected and valued. So I really like the feel of this card. To me, it's a very comfortable card. It's just, yeah, I think it's really well drawn and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over some of the descriptors here. So we have, like I was talking about, an outcome. So we have rewarding work. It's people with shared goals working well together. So they're all communicating well and they're on the same page. And so communication can be a bit of a harder thing if it's inadequate. But say, for example, in this picture, it is adequate because they're coming up with this beautiful cathedral that the three of them are collaborating on, right? It's a love of life. So this card has a lot of good energy. So there's a lot of progression, productivity, overall good vibes. There's good work being done. This can also, with it being a 3, show like it's the Empress. We've got like motherly vibes. So it would be a birth of something. 2 things combining to form that 3rd component, which it could be a baby. Teamwork, collaboration. So with love, it's doing a project with your partner. So that could be, say, romantic or platonic, where you trust the other person enough and know that they've got your back, and you communicate and you agree upon a project and you work together to accomplish it. With career, we've got that teamwork. We have diverse skills and opinions, and everybody is valued and heard. Finances, it's learning about finances. It's obtaining advice on how to create a budget, maybe looking at some technology or software that would help formulate a budget, or some sort of advisor that does money. So it's seeking that counsel. And basically what we have here is the coming together of different kinds of knowledge. Okay. Now let's say if we get into the reversals of the card. So we're generally talking about the opposite meaning of the upright. So instead of having the energy and the motivation to be working on a project, especially with other people, okay, that adds to the complexity. With here, we have a very disjointed, fatigued phenomena to where somebody's heart's not in it. And it could be, if they're collaborating with others, that each one wants to maybe outdo the other. There could be some jealousy or envy. They may want to win over another one to where they're not on the same page. And so they can't work on the same thing. They're basically doing different things. So it's why it's very disjointed. It's, again, not wanting to put in the work, being very tired, having a bad plan. Okay, so that goes into the architect. So if we don't have a good plan, then it's really hard to execute something. Mediocre work, conflicts, dissatisfaction, failure to recognize beauty in daily life, difficulty becoming pregnant. So I thought that was cool to throw out there. It's lack of cohesion, lack of teamwork, and ego when it's in reverse. So we'll go ahead and we'll go over the other cards to kind of see what similarities we can see to the Rider-Waite-Smith. With this one, I really like how the artist captured the hands, and we've got the shading, and we have the 3 pentacles. I like how the rope is a bit frayed in appearance, but that what we have is we've got help here. So it would appear that these 2 hands may belong to one person, but then you see the sleeve and how it's a bit different. Or actually, this may belong to one person, but you see how these sleeves match up. So it's somebody saying, hey, you're not alone, I got your back. And they're helping accomplish this endeavor, which has a lot of uncertainty around it with that black and gray coloration in the background, right? With that shading. With this one, we have 3 people, and see this figure smiling as he's looking down. And it looks like they're doing a bit of, I'm not sure what you would call that, if it would be weaving or another word, since I don't do that. But I'm sure you guys would know if I'm wrong on what I'm calling this. But you see how they're working together. And then here she is with what appears to be yarn. And then here she is directing it. This one, it looks like he's kind of like overseeing the project, right? And giving some feedback. But it's a team effort that's coming out like very beautiful, right? With this one, we have our crow friends. One is plucking cherries down from the tree so that his buddy can eat. So, and you see here how the pinnacles look like rocks that he's standing upon. So you know that crows are clever. So they probably work together to make this little hill of pinnacles so that he could just simply stand on top and get the cherries down, right? And then, yeah, I really, really like that. And just the overall feel of the card. We've got like a lot of blues and greens. So it's a very tranquil card with the blue and with the green. We have that just productive growth. It's a good thing, right? Now, I always finish off with the card not based on Rider-Waite-Smith. So with this one, obviously, our cardinal friends are communicating. It may not be a pleasant communication by the looks of it. It looks like they might be arguing over something as they are perched on top of a cup. So really, other than them conversing with each other, to me, everything else is off with this card, which further demonstrates the importance of, when you're learning, having a deck based on Rider-Waite-Smith. And so from here, just see what carries over with the symbols. Okay, so with that one, we didn't have any commonality. Okay, and with here, even though it's a different image, we have the 3 pentacles, of course, but really, that's it for the commonalities as far as the literal transfers of symbols over to the other card, right? Okay, we have this one. So even though this is a departure from the Rider-Waite-Smith, I still like how even with this new image, even though this deck is based on Rider-Waite-Smith, you still get the same meaning of the cards. I thought that was clever. Okay. And then we have this one. Again, the meaning crosses over. So I really like that. So yeah, so this Tarot Teaching Moments, short, sweet, and to the point. I feel like this is a really straightforward card. So it may not be, say, as in-depth or complex as some of the other ones. So that wraps us up this week for our Tarot Teaching Moments. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments or shoot me a PM, or even leave them in the group, because we have a lot of people who are strong with tarot in our group. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week and you get a good night's sleep. And I will see you later. Bye.